Welcome to Everything Health One.
What if I told you that diabetes doesn't actually start with sugar problems, that it really starts with these subtle signals your body has been sending you for years? And if you ignore them, well, we're talking about nerve damage, kidney failure, even blindness.
You know, diabetes isn't something that just appears out of nowhere one morning. Nope, it's a slow burn. It builds up so quietly, step by step, while most of us are just shrugging off the signs, right? We say things like, oh, I'm just getting older, or I'm just tired. The thing is, by the time a doctor gives you that official diagnosis, your body has already been fighting a battle for a long time. So today, in this explainer, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna learn how to listen. We're gonna decode those early signals, and more importantly, figure out exactly what to do about them while you can still turn the ship around. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. When you hear diabetes, you probably think high blood sugar, right? And you're not wrong, but that's actually the end of the story. It's the final stage of a process that's been going on for years, maybe even decades before that point. So where does it really begin? It all starts with something called insulin resistance. Now think about it like this. Insulin is basically the key that opens the door to your cells, letting sugar, energy, get inside. But with insulin resistance, it's like the locks on those doors get all rusty and gummed up. They just don't respond to the key like they're supposed to. Now, your body's pretty clever. When it notices those locks are getting rusty, your pancreas just says, okay, fine, and starts pumping out more keys, more and more insulin. It's kind of like a brute force attack. And for a while, it actually works. But you can't do that forever. Eventually, your pancreas just gets totally exhausted. It can't make enough keys anymore. And that's the moment you start sliding down that slippery slope, from insulin resistance to prediabetes, and then, towards a full-blown diagnosis. Let me ask you something, and be honest. When was the last time you checked your blood sugar? And I don't mean because you were sick or a doctor made you. I mean just to know, just to get a baseline. If you're like most people, the answer is probably never. And that, right there, is how this whole silent process just flies completely under the radar. So if it's so silent, where do you even start to look for clues? Well, believe it or not, one of the first and most obvious places is your own skin. Okay, this one is huge because it's so often misunderstood. You might see these dark, kind of velvety patches of skin, especially around your neck, in your armpits, or even over your knuckles. And a lot of people think, oh, it's just dirt, I need to scrub harder. No, it is not dirt. This is a classic textbook sign of high insulin levels. It's your body screaming that it's insulin resistant. I'm being completely serious here. Go on, pause this for just a second. Go find a mirror and take a look at your neck, your armpits, your knuckles. Really look, because being honest with yourself right now, that's the most important first step you can take. Another really common early signal is this weird, constant thirst. And I'm not talking about, being thirsty after you go for a run. This is feeling parched even when you feel like you've been chugging water all day. So what's going on? Well, all that extra sugar in your blood acts like a sponge. It's literally pulling water out of your cells, leaving you dehydrated on a cellular level no matter how much you drink. Okay, so those are some of the big clues you can actually see on the outside. But now let's go deeper and talk about the signals that come from within, the strange things you might start to feel day in and day out. And this is where it all connects. You see, it's this crazy feedback loop. It starts with that high blood sugar. Your kidneys then have to work overtime to try and filter all that extra sugar out of your system. To do that, they need water, a lot of it, which is why you start having to go to the bathroom all the time, especially, and this is a key sign, waking up at night to go. And of course, losing all that fluid makes you dehydrated, which brings us right back to that intense thirst we just mentioned. It's a vicious cycle. Now, here's a weird one that really messes with people's heads. Have you ever eaten a big meal and then like an hour later you feel hungry again? You might think, man, I guess I didn't eat enough. But that's not what's happening. The real problem is all the energy from your food, that sugar, is just stuck, floating around in your blood. The key isn't working, remember? So it can't get into your cells to actually give them fuel. It's a bizarre situation where your body is literally starving for energy, even though there's plenty of it right there in your bloodstream. And this one catches so many people off guard. You know that constant brain fog? That feeling of being totally wiped out that you just blame on stress or a bad night's sleep? Well, what if it's not that? Your brain is a massive energy consumer. It's a total hog. But if it can't get the fuel it needs because of insulin resistance, it doesn't matter how much sugar is in your blood. Your brain is basically running on fumes, and that's why you feel so mentally slow and just exhausted. I want you to think about this for a second, because we've all seen this happen. You're out to eat, someone has a huge plate of pasta or a big bowl of rice, and then, boom, they're practically falling asleep at the table. We call it a food coma, right? We laugh about it. But listen, that is not normal digestion. That intense crash, that overpowering sleepiness, it's a massive red flag. It's a sign of total blood sugar chaos. Food is supposed to give you energy, not knock you out. All right, so we've talked about the direct symptoms, the things you can see and feel. But what about the hidden stuff? The risk factors that are quietly working against you in the background, even if you don't notice them every day. Here's something that is absolutely crucial to get. Insulin isn't just about sugar, it's a fat storage hormone. And when your insulin levels are high all the time, because your cells are resistant, your body gets locked into fat storage mode. It's like a switch is flipped to on and it's stuck there. This explains why some people feel like it's impossible to lose weight, especially that stubborn fat around the middle. It's not just calories, their own hormones are literally trapping the fat in. And it's not just about being overweight either. Think about this. Do you sit for long hours at a desk? Are you a snacker, constantly eating throughout the day? Do you get poor sleep? All of these things raise your risk. And of course, there are things you can't control, like a family history of diabetes, or if you've had gestational diabetes during a pregnancy. Those are major flags too. Okay, if you remember one thing from this whole explainer, let it be this. You absolutely cannot judge a book by its cover when it comes to metabolic health. Someone can look thin, fit, totally healthy on the outside, while on the inside, a dangerous storm of insulin resistance is brewing. Looking healthy and being metabolically healthy are two very, very different things. All right, so we've laid out the problem, we've uncovered the clues, and look, that knowledge is powerful. But turning that knowledge into action, that's what's truly life-changing. So let's switch gears and get practical. Here is your early action checklist, the stuff you can do to start taking back control right now. First things first, your doctor. And don't just go in for a standard physical. You need to be specific. You need to ask for these 3 tests. A fasting blood sugar test gives you a snapshot in time. An HbA1c gives you a 3-month average, which is even better. But honestly, the real game changer, the one you should push for, is a fasting insulin test. That test can spot the problem years before your blood sugar ever starts to creep up. Okay, next up, let's talk about habits. And we're gonna focus on the ones that give you the most bang for your buck. Number 1, stop grazing all day. Give your insulin levels a break by not snacking constantly. Number 2, after your meals, just go for a simple 10 or 15-minute walk. It's amazing what that does to help your muscles soak up that sugar from your blood. And number 3, and this is a big one, prioritize your sleep. Seriously, good sleep is more powerful for fixing your hormones than any fancy supplement you could ever buy. And last but not least, you need to become your own health detective. Just once a month, check in on these 3 things. What's your waist size doing? Is it staying the same or creeping up? How are your energy levels, really, especially after you eat? And are you noticing anything weird with your thirst or how often you're going to the bathroom? You know what? You should probably go ahead and screenshot these last 3 slides. Seriously, this is your action plan. So let's wrap this all up. If there's one core idea to take away from all this, it's that diabetes doesn't just suddenly appear on the day of your diagnosis. No, it starts years, even decades earlier, with whispers. Just quiet little whispers from your body. The truth is, your body has been talking to you this whole time. And now you understand its language. You know how to listen. So the real question isn't just about knowing the signs anymore. The question is, what are you going to do about it? What's the very first whisper you're going to act on?
If you found this helpful, please hit that like button. It helps get this health information to more people who need it. And subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the hidden signals of your body. Stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.